This makes me feel ancient. Put me in the retirement home now. As you may know, the PlayStation 2 had come out 25 years ago, but more recently it just turned 25 here in Europe. It came out a few weeks earlier in the United States before it came here. I was watching a bunch of YouTube videos about people talking about their PlayStation 2 memories and PlayStation 2 retrospectives, and I came away from it feeling that my experience with the PS2 was very different to theirs. And after doing some research and some digital archaeology, what I've actually learned is that the European experience of having a PlayStation 2 was very different to the American and the Japanese. So today I'm going to unbox my very own PlayStation 2, which you can see is in its box. I'm going to do my own version of the Criterion closet. I went up to my attic and brought down some select PlayStation 2 games, but as you're about to see, it's going to be the version. And I'm also going to talk about some differences of owning a PlayStation 2 here in Europe as a European. I even got my hands on years of PlayStation 2 sales charts, and I think the games that were the best sellers are going to really surprise you. Before we begin with the unboxing, I just want to pay attention to this price tag because it says $229.99. But if you look at the price sticker underneath this, it actually says what I think is $209. So this was on sale, then we put it back to full price, which my poor father bought. And I think it's really funny because this is from a retail shop called Game. It's still kind of around, particularly in the UK, but not really. But they have a reputation, at least now, for being quite mean and overpriced. And I think it's hilarious that, 20 years earlier, it's still in the sticker. So check this out. This is the Satin Silver model. Demo disc included. I don't think so, not anymore. And it comes with 2 controllers. I think it's remarkable that we still have the box for it. I actually had the PS2 for ages without the box. And then one evening I saw my dad walking down from the attic and I saw the box. So it's actually been reunited after at least a decade. Another thing to note is that this was not my first PlayStation 2. I first got a PlayStation 2 Christmas 2001, and that one broke probably around the same time we got this. So this is from late 2003, 2004. I mean, there's a reason why I had the second. We wouldn't have been the type of people that would have bought one just for the color. So the first one broke, and then we got this one. Shall we do the unboxing? Okay, so this is going to be quite a mixture because I've had the PlayStation 2 obviously forever. And when I first got my hands on it about a couple of years ago, the silver controllers were broken, both of them. It wasn't the console, it was the controllers, because I got replacement controllers off of Amazon. They're not the right color. I just wanted some cheap ones. These aren't Sony, these aren't OEM, these are just some basic cheap Amazon ones. These work perfectly. For some odd reason, the old controllers disintegrated. But this wrapping is what the PlayStation 2 controllers came in. Then we got the second controller. I don't think the demo disc is going to be in here. How did dust get in this thing? Oh, that's how. Out comes the vertical stand. I actually did some digital archaeology. This stand right here, this is not an official Sony product. This was actually sold by the retailer called Game, and I actually found the product listing for it. This was sold for half of the price of the Sony one, and it had slots for 4 memory cards. And I think that's really interesting because you have to remember this is before the internet, so we're very influenced by what we bought, by basically what the shop was offering. And this shop Game, if you're British, if you're Irish, I think it might be in other parts of Europe, especially back in the day, would know that Game had their own brand of peripherals, which we'll definitely talk about. I don't think I packaged this right. Well, we kept the styrofoam anyway. And there it is. That beauty. Now you put on its stand. Bob's your uncle. Okay, so this is a mixture of old and new. So this is the original RCA cable. I also believe we might have had a SCART. We definitely had a SCART. SCART, it's so UK. I don't even think SCART was used in the rest of Europe. I think you can get far better upscalers. This is a really cheap Amazon one. So, yeah, I don't think this is legit. I think I got this off Amazon too. Oh, this is the one that has the, the e-booter thing on it. And then I don't even think this is a PlayStation 2 memory card. I think this is a PS1 memory card. But yeah, I guess it just kind of slot them in onto the PlayStation 2 like that. No power cable. I might actually have to go back upstairs and find the power cable. I'm gonna do something pretty dodgy. This is like a Sony a7S II battery bank charger thing. Why am I doing this on video? Don't do this at home. Oh, it works. Yeah, look, there's a light there. Okay, well, never mind. Great. Okay, it was going to be a very short video if I couldn't turn the bloody PlayStation on. I am rather surprised though that I cannot find the PS2 memory card. I definitely had the original because I remember years ago I was seeing my sister's save files on it because it wasn't my memory card, it was my sister's. But anyway, we'll go with this one. Look at the dust. Not unkept. The way Sony marketed things in Europe, they definitely had specific games that they thought would work well with European audiences. So while they might seem really niche to Americans, if you're European, British, Irish, or whatever, you might be like, oh yeah, I had that game too. I want to talk about these kind of cultural European differences, and to do that, let's look at some sales charts. This is the website of the retail shop that this PlayStation 2 was bought from, called Game. They're still around. If you're Irish or British, you most certainly have been in here if you're a video game fan. And what we're looking at right now are the PlayStation 2 sales charts for December 2000. The top selling game when the PlayStation 2 came out was Tekken Tag Tournament, and this was a game that I had, don't have it anymore. I think that alone speaks volumes about just how popular Tekken was, at least here in Europe. Americans seem to love Mortal Kombat, and I know for a fact obviously people in Europe played Mortal Kombat, but Mortal Kombat wasn't the cultural touchstone it is in America. It's pretty well known that here in Europe we played Tekken. In fact, on the PlayStation 1, Tekken 3 was pretty much one of the top-selling PlayStation games of all time. So no surprise when the PS2 came out, Tekken Tag Tournament is bang up number 1 on the sales charts for £37.99 apparently. Number 2 we have SSX, number 3 FIFA 2001, number 4 is International Track and Field. Number 5 Silent Scope, never heard of that. Number 6 Ridge Racer, number 7 ISS, number 8 Smuggler's Run, which I think what type of slim pickings in Europe for the launch of PS2. Time Splitters number 9. Number 10 is interesting because it goes to a game called RC Revenge, which I never heard of, you never heard of, but this is actually a British game and is one of the few games that came out in Europe in 2000 before it went to America in January 2001. I want to kind of point this out because you're going to start seeing a semblance of some games that had a bigger presence here in Europe. If we fast forward a few months, we're now looking at the same website on April 10, 2001, and the top charts have changed. Number 1 is now Star Wars Starfighter. Number 2, Knockout Kings 2001. Number 3, SSX. Number 4 is an interesting one because I'm guessing this one didn't have a big presence in America, but as you can see, number 4 on the charts here, Shadows of Memories by Konami. Number 5, Armored Core 2. Number 6, Only. That's considered a really cool game, but that was obviously by Rockstar. And I think this chart's really interesting because you can kind of see the presence that publishers like Rockstar had because they had local footholds in Europe. Number 7, Time Splitters. Number 8, Smuggler's Run. Number 9, FIFA 01. And then number 10, MotoGP. I actually found sales charts for the PlayStation 2 games that go all the way to the end of 2008. And I'm going to go through all of them with you, but I'm going to do it at the end of the video because I don't want to bore you with like a very long portion of the video about sales charts. But obviously you can skip to that section if you want to see the data right away. But instead, to make it more personal, we're going to go through a select handful of games I've handpicked for show and tell that kind of show what my kind of experiences with the PlayStation 2 were. So the first PlayStation 2 games I ever owned and are unfortunately no longer with me are actually what came with this bundle. So doing some digital archaeology, I found the exact bundle my parents bought for Christmas 2001, and that was the PlayStation 2 Family Pack for £249.99. Ireland didn't distribute European banknotes until January 1st, 2002, so I'm willing to wager that they also spent £249.99. They got the black PS2 with one black controller, they got an extra Gamester pad, which we will talk about, and of course my copy of Crazy Taxi. Now this says it also came with a game of Victoria's Boxers, but I know for a fact my mum said, he's not into boxing, what else you got? The game person working in the shop says, what does he like? My mum said, Tomb Raider. And for some odd reason, he gave me a copy of Gift. This was such a crap game. It never went to America. It was by Cryo Interactive, who I covered on this channel through a game called Pax Corpus. Whoever was working in the game shop at the time, if it's you, I want to have a word with you if you're watching this 25 years later. It was like, I guess I'll give Gift. It was... I remember, even though I was so young, putting the game in and being like, this is awful. We had a PlayStation 1 and I used to scratch discs, so I went through a lot of copies of Tomb Raider. So for this Christmas 2001, I also got a PS1 copy of Tomb Raider 3, and I think I just took that game out and put Tomb Raider 3 in. And that was what was so great about the PS2, was that it was backwards compatible with PS1, and it was just intuitive. I mean, I was like 5 years old. I didn't know that was going to be backwards compatible, but you would assume it would be, and I put that disc in and it just worked. Crazy Taxi is actually one of my favorite games. When I owned an Xbox One and an Xbox Series X, I'd play Crazy Taxi on it regularly through the Xbox Arcade and backwards compatibility. I am so excited for the reboot of Crazy Taxi. I hope Sega does not mess it up. But what was really special about the PlayStation 2 version of Crazy Taxi was this is when it had all the licensing. So it had really good music, but like you could also drive to real places. Like there was a KFC, there was a Tower Records. Like it is a core memory in my head. Crazy Taxi was the first PS2 game I ever played. It was an arcade game, and I do think it's one of the best of all time. Although I'm biased because, as I just told you, it was the first PS2 game I ever played. As an adult, I have to say the bundle up there is more appealing to me. PlayStation 2 and Resident Evil Code Veronica for $3.39. If I was a sentient adult, that would have been the bundle I would have went for. I haven't played Code Veronica yet. That's like a big gap in my Resident Evil. They didn't do a bundle of Grand Theft Auto 3 though. Oh, they did! Oh, no, yeah, that would have been my bundle for Christmas 2001. PS2 and Grand Theft Auto 3, £229.99. Oh, but it didn't come with a memory card. My parents got us a memory card straight away. We were so spoiled, we had memory cards. I feel bad because you sometimes watch YouTubers and like, yeah, we grew up and we didn't have memory cards, and I was like, all I've ever known was having a memory card. But as I mentioned before, this is my second PlayStation 2, so what game did I get with this one? Well, time to go down memory lane. Okay. This. Hitman 2 Silent Assassin. We got the silver PS2, and then this one came bundled with Hitman 2 Silent Assassin. Again, I think this is a case of my dad being like, he loves Lara Croft, and whoever was working in the game shop at the time was like, well, this character's got 2 guns. Close enough. I actually really love Hitman. I think Hitman World of Assassination is fantastic. But only now, as an adult, do I realize it was a stealth game. My core memory of playing Hitman 2, and this is really embarrassing, but again, like I was really young, I was like 8. And this game is 16. I was like, so he had these guns, so I'd go around shooting people, but like, it always had like game over. He died really easily. And I was like, this is really hard. Obviously not realizing that it's a stealth game. Why would you put a gentleman with 2 guns on the front cover? It's a stealth game. Now, as I just mentioned earlier, this is going to be the dodgy version of the Criterion Closet. And by that, I mean we're going to play a game of, if I open this box, will the game be inside? Okay, no booklet. But we do have a copy of Hitman 2. Okay, we're off to a good start. Some of the games I've picked aren't just strictly about my memories of gaming, but were about memories of playing with others because, again, this is for the family. My sisters played the PlayStation 2. And some of my core and biggest memories of the PS2 weren't the games that I was playing, but the games I was experiencing with those around me, like my sisters, particularly Project Zero, which we will get to. But we're going to pull out this gem, Grand Theft Auto 3 A-Spec. This is like an obvious one. Obviously, I'm aware this is an international phenomenon, but I didn't buy this. My older sister bought this, and this game was so good. The intro music, chef's kiss. Oh, yay! Not only is the game inside, but we got a book. Why is this book so scrunched up? Look how crunched, like, that's like really crumpled. This is how you know it's a childhood memory. Cows! Oh, like stencil. Can you get some of that? It's like stenciled. Wait, what's Sony trying to sell me on the back? A memory card and an analog controller. That's the back of the manual. I have the new Gran Turismo 7 for my PS5 Pro, but I must admit, I do enjoy Forza Horizon. Anyway, we're doing good so far. Oh yeah, here we go. Are you ready for this one? So as you may or may not realize, I'm a homosexual. And he was born that way. I want to talk about this game. First off, it's a banger, but this is a core memory because my dad took me and my sister to the game shop in Blanchardstown. If you're Irish and from Dublin, you know where Blanchardstown is. There was a game there, and I don't have the other game on me. I don't know where it might be gone. The game I picked for myself was Britney's Dance Beat, but my sister bought a little game called Final Fantasy X. And that's core memory. I think it's hilarious that, you know, she went for Final Fantasy X and I went for Britney's Dance Beat. And Final Fantasy X was like, watching that epic romance was just an amazing experience. I never played too young, I wouldn't have understood the RPG systems. Like, that's really romantic and it had like really good female appeal. And you know, obviously with Titus and Yuna, but Britney's Dance Beat. This is a really interesting memory because it was the first time I actually understood how expensive things were. Video games really shape who you are growing up. As a 6-year-old, that's the first time I heard a number and was like, that's a lot of money. This costed as much as Final Fantasy X. I remember they were the same price. And what really changed from that point on was I got a lot more picky with what games I picked. And I know there's definitely an element of being privileged, spoiled, totally. Anyway, this is actually really good. The problem with Britney's dance phase, there's only like 5 songs in it. But thankfully they're all bangers. There's like... There's the other one. What's the other one? What am I gonna do in my life? Oh, I'm a slave for you, obviously. Yeah, Britney's dance beat. Ah, no booklet. I probably drew on the booklet. But I do got the game. So you have to imagine Final Fantasy X on this table. And Final Fantasy X too. We did the full set. This is a really special one for me, the Sims Bustin Out, because this is my introduction to the Sims franchise. If you're familiar with my channel, you know I go pretty big on Sims. But we didn't own a PC, like a Windows computer, until like 2004. It was a compact Presario. And this was my introduction to the Sims franchise. And maybe it's because it is the first, but the Sims could learn so much from this game. The vibes of this are immaculate, and like when the Sims team are looking to make the next Sims game, they should really take, like there's so many iconic things that were introduced in this game. I'm guessing if you're a PlayStation 2 fan, you have like just The Sims is not your thing, but if The Sims is your thing, this is a really good one. This blew my mind. I remember I was watching some demo disc and my sister came into the room and she's like, I just came to my friend's house and we played something called The Sims. And she's like, you can build a house and build like, and like you can create whatever you want. And I was like, can you create Lara Croft in it? And she's like, yeah. I was like, okay, let's get the game done. So we got this one, Bustin' Out. Damn good game. Oh my god. We found the memory card. 8 megabytes, baby. This is the official Sony PlayStation 2 Magic Gate. I'll put that into, this is why we need slots for 4. Going in, babes. There you go. I'm having way too much fun going down memory lane. Well, not to spoil things, but there's also a copy of Gran Theft Auto San Andreas in there. The Sims 4 could never. Like, really could never. Inzoi, copy, steal from this one. Well, now that you've seen it, I might as well bring this one out of the bag. Yes, Gran Theft Auto San Andreas. Her web connects us all. Yes, globally, from Timbuktu to Ireland to Japan. If you own a PlayStation 2. There's even a booklet. Does that mean, how much does getting CX? I actually did play this a few years ago, like with the PS2. The music in this though, so good. And this was actually quite scratched up, so it kept like stuttering as I loaded in. It's actually not a good, at least my copy. Mine could be just really scratched up. Yes, this game. How did we all convince our parents to buy an 18? Oh, it's so good though. It really does no harm. Age ratings, do they matter? Like really? I mean, yes, we were playing and we knew they were hookers and stuff, but like, and we're killing people and stealing cars, but like, we turned out fine, didn't we? Banger. I never finished this one. I played the remaster when it was on Xbox Game Pass. I never finished it then, because I didn't do the bloody helicopter mission thing that was locking me from progressing. Maybe I will finish this one day. When we look at the success of Grand Theft Auto 3, which obviously turned things around for Rockstar, I mean, Grand Theft Auto 1 and 2 on the PS1 were fine. But what's really interesting to note is that when Grand Theft Auto 3 first came out, that was a budget game. This game was much cheaper than games by Konami, Squaresoft by a lot. And it actually made me think of this game, Expedition 33, which I just got in the Amazon Prime Day sale. And I cannot wait to eventually get around to playing this. But obviously this has been the breakout for this year of 2025. This was also a budget price game, not full price. And I think that's what's really interesting, is that there's obviously conversations about raising the price of games because, you know, budgets have gone up, things just cost more. But the video games industry is also really struggling to launch new intellectual property. And I think it's really interesting that Expedition 33 blew up in the same way. And that's that there's real value in pricing your games really aggressively, because I think the cheaper a game is, the more likely you're going to take a punt and a risk on something. As we discussed, you know, the miracles behind Expedition 33, I also think just it's really great price point as a consideration to maybe why it's a breakout hit. I mean, you hear people talking about the game, it's cool, then you go online, see it's at, you know, it's at a pretty good price. That was probably what we were doing with Grand Theft Auto 3. You know, we heard a classmate discuss it, it's great, and then we go to the shop, you know, it's not too expensive. I think there's something to be said as video game companies try to launch new franchises, is to start out by, you know, starting small and starting cheap. Primal. This is a really interesting one because this is an example of things that are going to be contextually specific to being a European PlayStation 2 owner, and that is that Sony Computer Entertainment Europe really tried to push games to European customers that they were making in their European studios. And this one came from Sony Cambridge, and it's really interesting to think about why this game was targeted to us. Obviously this did come out in America, but was not a very popular game in America. But here in Europe, and particularly in UK and Ireland, it's got a heap of advertising in official PlayStation 2 magazine, demo discs. And this didn't really click with me until a few months ago when I was doing my YouTube video about the PS2 demo disc I grew up playing. And I remember looking at some of the magazines and I was like, why were they pushing 24 the game on it so heavily? I didn't own the game, but I remember being in the magazines all the time. And that's because 24 the game came from Sony Cambridge. That just kind of gives you some insight, particularly if you're American or if you're from Asia, that here in Europe, Sony was really big on pushing European-made games on us, because on the PlayStation 1 demo disc, another core memory I had playing a lot of was Medieval, which, surprise, surprise, made by Sony Cambridge. So yeah, this was a really good one. I played this, I actually remember being in hospital. I was in hospital for some surgery, orthopedic surgery, as a really young kid, came out of it, had to stay home from school, my knees was really sore, and I think we bought this actually in Smith's. I don't think this is a game, I think this is from a Smith's. But yeah, this is kind of held you over until Tomb Raider: The Angel of Darkness came out. And I think that's actually really interesting, because when you look at a lot of the games Sony Cambridge makes, a lot of them are third-person action-adventure games. Medieval, Primal, 24 the game. You can really see that the success of Tomb Raider compelled Sony Computer Entertainment Europe to say, this game studio that we're going to own, Sony Cambridge, is going to specifically put out first-party games that play like Tomb Raider. But yeah, oh yeah, there's a game disc, but no booklet. I actually have a memory. See this tattoo? See that tattoo on your neck? I actually have a memory of asking my mum to draw it on the back of my neck. Diva? Ah yes, speaking of heartbreak. Tomb Raider: The Angel of Darkness. This game broke my heart. If you're new to the channel, huge Tomb Raider fan, like huge, encyclopedic. It's my thing, Tomb Raider is my thing. I bloody have an Oscar winner above my shelf. What do I remember about this game? I remember going to so many game bloody stores around Dublin as a kid, dragging my parents to it, and putting down my name on pre-order lists for this damn game. And back then they did it on pen and paper. And I did it in multiple stores. I remember it's supposed to be coming out on November 15th. I have the core memory of the game shop phoning us up to tell us it'd be delayed until February. I have the core memory of the game shop telling us it'll be delayed until April. And I have the core memory of them telling us it'll be delayed until July. And the fifth and most disappointing memory is getting the game and realizing it was crap. I was 7, and the best memory I think that comes from this game is that there was a trailer for Angelina Jolie's Cradle of Life sequel in it, and that was fun to watch. I remember buying all the stupid magazines that had the preview DVDs, the game was coming, had a really cool trailer. I was so ready. Like guys, I was ready for this. I'm kind of angry looking at it. I haven't even played the bloody remastered version because they still haven't fixed it. But I remember you start out obviously in Paris and like she's in like bloody double denim or whatever. And I remember sliding down the Lure storm drains and she's in camo, she's got some tie holsters, but her double guns were missing. And it just dawned on me, I was like, they didn't give her the bloody double guns. And you cannot get the dual pistols in this version. They delayed that game from November to July. A lot of people blame the publisher and not the game developers, but like, if you're delaying the game from November 02 to July 03, how is at any point in that timeline you're not like, we should put the double guns in this? Or frankly, fix the controls. Oh, this thing pissed me off. But so much so, I don't even have the game anymore, but I still have the manual. And actually, I have a core memory. You're gonna like this. Anyone owned these game manuals, at the back of these section for notes? And I know for a fact on this one. Oh my god. Okay, I have to be careful. I have to censor some of this. Why did I put my home phone number in this? And my nan's phone number. I have to censor some of the notes, but like, you can see age 7, my name. Why did I put my home phone number on the back? Lara loves guns. Like 2 Uzis and Uzi ammo, name Lara Croft, name of the game is Angel of Darkness. Why did I write that? Okay, we're moving on. Ooh, this is a good one because I can use this to represent the franchise. Nina Williams in Dead by Degrees. This is a good one. Never finished it. Actually, I played this a few years ago on an emulator. Didn't finish it then either. So was it good? As I said before, Tekken was huge. We had Tekken Tag Tournament, we had Tekken 4, we had Tekken 5. I think it was Tekken 5. It was where at the end Nina Williams blows up the movie studio. And the reason why I know that is, obviously I'm Irish. Nina Williams is Irish. So to us, this meant a lot. If you're an Irish gamer, did Nina Williams mean as much to you as it did to us? Because we're like, she's Irish. And I thought it was really cool for that reason. She got her own bloody game. That actually isn't a good game. But you're really impressed as a kid. You're like, oh my god, the Irish character that we play as like 99% of the time got her own game. They should do another game of Nina Williams. Why don't they? Like, this was good in theory. You can definitely tell they were influenced by things like Kill Bill. She can rock 2 swords, she can rock 2 guns. They almost had it. Bandai should maybe remaster this and just fix it up. Like, there's a lot of story. Loved Anna, loved Nina, loved Tekken. I'm sorry to say, this is going to begin a trend for us of games with nothing inside them. Okay, what else is in my Criterion closet bag? Okay, let's just tackle these all in one go. So after falling in love with The Sims, I picked up the first version, The Sims. This one was good. I do have the game for it, however. This one's fine. This one actually plays like a port of the PC version of The Sims 1, but like done in a really weird 3D way. Like it's good. I mean, I've already talked about The Sims, so I don't want to bore you. But I'll talk about this version of The Sims. This is Urbz The Sims. This was a really good one. This one was crazy and wild, but I liked it. Ah yes, the Black Eyed Peas. I don't think EA. I wonder how good EA's lawyers were. So actually, the reason why I also brought this down from the attic was a criticism I do have of video games back then and even now is that video game lawyers need to get their together, and when they're licensing music or cars for car games, ask for the rights in perpetuity. I come from the film industry, and like even in bloody short films, if we're negotiating music, we're getting that in perpetuity. We have permission to use that music forever. I, for the life of me, cannot understand why video game lawyers are so weak when it comes to negotiating and bargaining power. When you see things like Forza Horizon 4 being delisted, I bought that on Steam before it was delisted. I can never imagine like a film being made and being like, yeah, you have to delist your film after 10 years. Like, it doesn't happen in movies, so it never made sense to me why it happens in video games. Never. But yes, on this one there is, yeah, the disc. The book's gone. The book is gone. This one is very British. If you're American, this will have no appeal to you. Dance UK. And this is where I'm going to tie in some peripherals too. If you grew up in the UK or Ireland and you're around for the 2000s of PlayStation 2, you're definitely around for like the dance mat craze. And if you owned a dance mat, you owned this game. The dance mat also worked with the Britney game. Dance UK is the new hot, sassy dancing and singing game. This unique game combines awesome 8-step dance moves and karaoke with up-to-date massive tunes, giving endless hours of fun for you and your friends, creating an instant party. So be a star, get down and party. Hits include Gotta Get Through This by Daniel Bedingfield. Is he related to Natasha Bedingfield? Run DMC, that's the way it is, I don't know who that is. Sugar Babes, Round Round, banger. Oh, Murder on the Dance Floor by Sophie Ellis Bextor. Whoa, this is old.
It's murder on the dance floor.
So old, she had a comeback with Saltburn in the meantime. But look how expensive this was, $44, but obviously we got it for $29.99. Thanks, game. Let's see, is the game... Oh my gosh, it even has the book. Does it have the full list of songs? Oh, there is. One Night Stand by Mystique, Gotta Have Your Love, Liberty X, Rappers Delight, Sugar Hill Gang, Murder on the Dance Floor, Sophie Ellis Bextor, Let's Dance 5, Make Love, I never heard of any of these. It's like that's the way it is. Run DMC featuring Jason Evans, Round Round Sugar Babes, that's kind of an obvious one. Everybody Dance Chic, Dance Disco Inferno, The Tramps, 7, DJ Sammy, and you know, Beat Do. I Gotta Get Through This, Daniel Bedingfield. He must be related to Natasha Bedingfield. Ooh, Just a Bit, Gina G. Dance UK, Kids UK, Nappy Hardcore, Who booked the music for this game? Like, this gives you insight for how bad video game lawyers were at negotiating the rights for music for their freaking games. Sure, Britney was involved in her own game and only has like 5 songs in it. But another reason why I brought this down, not only because this is like a culturally specific thing if you're British or Irish that we owned, but these dance mats and a lot of the peripherals that we owned growing up was basically store-bought. I mean, we all have the core memory of going over to a friend's house, being given the second controller, and it was the crap one. And that brings me on to the first PlayStation 2 I ever had, because as I mentioned before, on the family pack it came with a second controller, and it was this one called the GameStar controller, and it was really hard to track down. But doing some digital archaeology, I found an advertisement for it, but these are peripherals made at a time before the internet, so like these were crap. Like, they were selling us like the worst peripheral ever. Like, this one has a button in the middle called mode. What does that even mean? Like, I remember pressing some of these buttons on these controllers and it used to make your game go crazy. Now, not to call anyone out, but I did some further digging and I came across an artist's portfolio on Behance, and an industrial designer actually worked at the manufacturer of these game controllers around the same time period by Radica. This guy has worked obviously now as an industrial designer for decades, but like if we going back, like this guy's just straight out of college and he's designed freaking game controllers. So like they're not doing any customer insight, they're not doing testing. They visually look amazing, like he's really talented. They were an ergonomic nightmare. But yeah, they did dance mats that we had. The same company, GameStar, they had like the stupid one for the Game Boy Advance that put like a floodlight on the screen, because Game Boys didn't have even like LCDs. Like, backlighting. And I remember owning that stupid floodlight. I'm like, it was a piece of junk. This is a core memory. This one I have the biggest memory of, and this isn't a game that I owned. This is my sister's game. Project Zero, a horror game. We didn't own many horror games because I was too much of a scaredy cat. This is a banger. Obviously, Project Zero is a cult franchise. You guys will know it in America as Fatal Frame. This was a good one. I remember the ending actively. We beat the game. I'm not going to spoil the ending for you, but you know, I remember the ending. Anyway, what I actually kind of think is so funny is that this is €15, and I think these are one of these cult games that now in the collector's market go for like a lot of money. And even more embarrassingly, not a book, not a game. To my sister, I'm so sorry. This could have been our retirement. I don't know where the game is. Actually, you know what? I'm not taking responsibility for this. Perhaps walking through a gloomy haunted mansion where several horrific murders took place doesn't sound so terrible to you. You're not a superhero equipped with powerful weapons, but as a vulnerable college girl with only a camera out of sight. She was in college? I thought she was in high school. Actually, on that note of games that we would have paid bargain prices for back in the day but are worth a fortune now, I actually tracked down 2 other games that go for quite a lot of money now on the collector's market, but back in the day were like being sold in the bargain bin. Now we're gonna end it off on the redemption arc, which is how to save a franchise. Tomato Legend, what a banger. I got this for my 10th birthday. This game came out around the time of my birthday. They actually priced Tomato Legend cheaper than Tomato Angel of Darkness as a gesture of goodwill. For when you're trying to reboot a franchise or resurrect it, the franchise is under new management, we want to give this another shot, we really think you're going to love what we do with this game. This was a budget game when it first came out in 2006, and I don't think a lot of people remember that. But there's some really good lessons to be had by game companies doing some digital archaeology of their own, but that is just a theory, a game theory. I go on to buy this for PC, I bought it for my Xbox 360. This is kind of coming towards the end of the era because I did get an Xbox 360, so my collection kind of starts to kind of die down a bit. There are other games I haven't talked about. Scooby-Doo, Night of 100 Frights. I actually never owned Crash Bandicoot on PS1 besides the racing game, so my introduction to Crash Bandicoot as a platformer was that PS2 game I'm going to insert a picture of, and that wasn't a good one. Like, there's definitely a video to be made about my introduction, and for some others, it's like when you join a franchise in its flop era, and that's definitely how I feel about Crash Bandicoot, because when your first introduction to that franchise is the PS2 games, which were not good. Like, I don't have the same core memory of playing Crash 1 the way other people do. We did have Spyro for PS1 growing up, and I did see a Hero's Spyro Tale up in my attic, but there was nothing interesting to talk about with that. King Kong, which is a game I actually just played a few months ago for PS2. What a banger. Ultimate Spider-Man. What a banger. I don't have that anymore. Actually, I did a big clean out in 2009. I was in school, sold a bunch of PS2 games to a classmate of mine. I have to imagine Ultimate Spider-Man, maybe a Dynasty Wars, Extreme Legends. Like, I have so many like other like games I played. I'll put pictures up of what games I remember, but definitely some of them got sold to him. And apparently a really good price considering how much they go for now on CEX. But yeah, Tomato Legend, banger, ended on a good note. Book, DVD. But actually, as a grown adult, my favourite of the trilogy is Tomato Anniversary. Where is the game? But yeah, this made me fall in love with the franchise again, obviously. Still loved her, but you know, back in love. But now as someone in my late 20s, this is actually the better game, and I'd kill for a remaster of Anniversary. I actually own this. I actually own all of these for Xbox 360, but that's for another video. So yes, this is a sampling. Am I a big like game collector connoisseur? I mean, I buy physical PS5 games, and obviously I took out my PS2 console for you. Would I feel motivated to start buying PS2 games? Not really. Like, we got this in the bargain bin. You know what I mean? Like, I would not pay €100 for knowing that. And you know, I think playing games through an emulator is fantastic. Maybe I could be tempted to put a hard drive into my PS2. These are definitely not like I'm keeping these. These will not be thrown out. Yeah, I love playing old games. I do a lot of retro games obviously on my channel. I do a lot of retro PS2 games you never even heard of. Check out that playlist. But I just don't think I'd be in the... I don't think I'm a collector. I'm tempted to see what's on the memory card though. This is the most exciting Let's Play I've ever done on my YouTube channel. Memory card. So no data, but we have the memory card here. Now the date and times on this are probably going to be all wrong, but we'll have a look anyway. So I just inserted the memory card into slot 1. Uh-oh. Oh, were things actually good back in the day? Oh, that was a PlayStation 1 memory card. No one touch. I wiggled it a bit and there it is. What's that about? Do I need to dust it out? Yeah, this is my sister's memory card. I was polite. I didn't do anything to it. This is the Sims Bustin Out from 2020 when I did that Let's Play. I did it on the PlayStation. As I mentioned before, I did play Grand Theft Auto San Andreas on this a good few years ago. That's 2017. Oh, it was Dynasty Warriors 4 we had. Kingdom Hearts 2, 2007. This is my sister's now. Now we're at my sister's territory. What other games did we have? Buzz, the big quiz, yeah. Project Zero. There it is. We played that 2007. Magna Carta. That could not be my game. Drakengard. I don't think that could have been my game either. These are all my sisters. Final Fantasy 12. What's the difference between that one and that one? That could not have been mine. Kingdom Hearts 2. And oh my gosh, 2006. Phantom Brave. Wait, we had Xenosaga? What? I didn't know this. Mumashi. These are all my sisters. Maybe she got these herself. Oh, Tesh. 2005. Final Fantasy 10. We had the bouncer. Oh, I wonder if some of these were a rental. I don't know. Right, let's put in the PS1 memory card. This should be very much strictly my stuff, although maybe we share. We shall see. Oh, you kind of have to wiggle it to make it come up. Unformatted, format now. Right. Well, maybe this isn't a genuine Sony one. Maybe this is a third-party one. Are you guys entertained by this? No, I refuse to format, actually. This is the new memory card with the bootloader on it. Let's see what happens here. That one's fully inserted and it just works. Oh yeah, look at that free McBoot. Corrupted data. Let's see if it remembers the date and time. Nope, that ain't it. Oh, pretty though, look at that. Oh, it won't even let me change the date and time. Look, it just keeps going. Oh. Yeah, that thing ain't changing for no one. Well, there's really only one game I want to try out right now. Oh, I think my disk drive is on the way out. I can hear it going. Drop a comment down below if you know if there's a fix for that. Yeah, I can hear my disk drive clicking. Oh, actually this disk is quite torn up. Some things never change. Oh, perfect. Okay. Good. Oh no, the noises from the disk drive are not good noises. Or is this what disk drives just always sounded like? I haven't used a DVD in... It's like when your PlayStation... Oh, my PlayStation 5 is quite noisy with still. Yes, I must see the songs. Love these safety precautions. Don't use the dance mat on a wet surface. Okay, this is the first Let's Play.
Dance the beat, dance the beat, dance the beat, dance the beat, dance the beat all day, dance the beat.
Oh, it's the cutscene.
Dance you play, come on, come on. Dance the beat all day, come on, dance you play, come on.
Did they make their own music for this?
Dance the beat all day, come on, dance you play, come on.
Oh, my PS2 disc drivers. Dance mode, training, aerobics, and options. What's in options? Karaoke's off. I'm gonna go to training. Oh, that PlayStation 2 disc drive does not sound so hot. No, get me out of this. Wow. Okay, how do I get out of this? Get me out of this. Get me out. Wait, it doesn't even let you pick the songs. What about if I go to aerobic? How dare you? Oh, here we go.
You wanna dance? This is our chance.
Okay, this is a banger. These are all songs that take ages to get started.
It's murder on the dance floor. Baby, you're all that I want.
Oh, that's what the Heaven song was. Okay, I do know this song. You can buy this game cheaper than a month of Spotify Premium. Oh, obviously I know this song. Oh, these are the only song selections you're giving me. I think I know this song. I don't know this song. I do know this song. Oh, damn it, I'm just straight into a song. But I was curious about this one. Is this the one that, like, they made for the game? Oh no, you cannot do this with a controller. Yeah, I'm not gonna get copyright struck for this one, I don't think. Oh no, you cannot do this on a controller. Ew. Oh, that's enough of that. And now, to end off the video, let's go through some sales charts. And we're going to go all the way from 2001 until the very end of 2008. Right, here are the sales charts. Let's quickly recap from the launch of the PlayStation 2 in Europe in December 2000, and we're going to take it all the way until the end of 2008. If there are huge chunks of months missing, that is because I couldn't get access to that data. As you can see from the proof images on the upper right of the screen, the website went through a lot of redesigns and also a lot of domain name changes. It went from Game UK to Game.net to shop.game.net to Game. It went through a lot, and every time the website changed, you'd lose months of data. So if there are huge chunks missing, that is not done on purpose. It's just because that's what was available. I'm actually going to do a separate video about this because I learned so much about doing this deep dive into physical UK sales, because obviously this was the only way people bought games, and you learn so much about the culture, why games are popular, you know, how did game sales change when the PlayStation 3 came out. So do stay tuned for that video. I have so much stuff to discuss, and maybe even lessons the video game industry can learn from the past for the future. So yeah, I learned a lot. And if you see a game that's platinum, that's done on purpose. That's when the game on platinum. And there's even insights there because these are physical game sales. Sometimes they'd sell the platinum, they'd sell out of platinum, then people would buy the regular version, but because that wasn't the platinum version, they charge extra. And yeah, I'll discuss that with you all in that video. You can kind of see my lady. Look at Yakuza go. But yeah, there are just some really insightful things. I think there's going to be some games where, you know, if you're international, you're going to be like, oh, you guys got good taste. But you saw there from Little Britain, the video game, sometimes they also have terrible taste in video games. But yeah, it's just a real trip down memory lane, and if you're European, I'm sure you remember a lot of these. And if you're trying to build your own collection, these are good ones to get because they're cheap. They're cheap because these were, you know, the top sellers. If you enjoyed watching, the fun doesn't have to stop here. I have a playlist on my channel of me playing retro PS2 games, obscure ones you've probably never heard of before, so do check those out. On my main channel, I actually have an unboxing of me on my PS5 Pro. You probably can't see it behind all the crap, but I was one of the lucky people who got a 30th anniversary PS5 Pro. I'm back in Sony's good graces, and yeah, this is fun. Now I have to pack this all back up. Let me know in the comments down below your PlayStation 2 memories, but particularly if you're European, British, Irish, I want to hear them. What are the common cultural things we have in common, and what are the things that are very different? But I hope you're all keeping safe and well, and I will see you all in my next video. Happy 25 years to the PS2. Bye.